Yo, it's ODB, our lifestyle podcast, and I did a flip through one day of the first 15 issues of Street Trucks. So I'm not going to do that right now, but just a reminder, you had August, October, and then 2 months later, December. When we had Brian McCormick on, we talked about how a magazine starting up is going to kind of sometimes be bi-monthly, and that's what they were for the first, not quite half of a year. And then they went monthly when we got to January of 2000. But what I'm going to do today, you saw from the title, let's look at the first mini truck that was featured in Street Trucks magazine. Stick with us. And after this, make sure you search OLP via your favorite podcast app. We're 7+ years strong doing a mini truck and inspired podcast, so check us out. Let's jump in. So I'm taking a little break going through the mini truck and magazines, and I wanted to jump in, do a quick one of August 99, like I said a minute ago. But there's a couple things. If we look at this premiere issue, we have the Beltec ad here. And again, I'm not going to do a full flip through. You have the epic Mike Kaufman cover truck with an awesome table of contents photo there. But look at this. Of all trucks, the first mini truck we see in this issue is Last Look. So we've had, we recently ran Dion's audio. He owned the truck. We've had Lambion. We've had K-Daddy. And we've had the famous Craig Fraser on to talk about all kinds of things, including Last Look. You can see it here, arguably one of the baddest mini trucks ever built. That is the same one that some of you saw on the TV show, if you saw it with Fester. Here is Ryan Leonard's Nissan. This thing never got done, unfortunately. I'm friends with Ryan. He's one of my severed brothers. And this is a Pat Maxwell design. So you see, this was a Pathfinder that was going to have a tube frame. Some of you will remember that. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out. I talked to Ryan about this at SEMA a few years ago, Project Pathfinder. Now, there's a couple other things I want to show you here. Rest in peace, Steve Stillwell. When we had a couple of people on, we had Chris Schmidt on. And Chris, we talked about what the cover could have been. And then Hot Rod by Christina, we talked about it as well. She did the rendering for the truck. But those were part of the press kit. And a couple of different trucks that we'll end up seeing in this issue if we were doing a full flip through. And that's Steve Stillwell, rest in peace to the OG. Now, let's jump to page 58. This is the first mini truck featured in Street Trucks, technically. And I do apologize for the glare. At least we got good lighting now. Armed and Dangerous. This is a Dangerous Toys truck. I always liked this mini truck. I loved the roll pan. Mine was a very similar setup, but the clear taillights, real clean billets. And of course, if you guys know me, I love blue. Rest in peace, Papa Smurf. He's the one that got me liking blue and gray. Some of my friends know. Armed and Dangerous. Courtney Halliwell shot it. Some guys just can't leave well enough alone. Not only was the truck clean, look how nice the engine bay was. This was a 97. So it had extra stuff that my 94 didn't have with the ECU and some of the extra brake stuff. One of my favorite aspects of it was it had the the old school dash, which I had in the 94. But look at all that tweed. You really can't get any more tweed than that. The only tweed that's not done is the steering wheel, obviously. The speaker pods, or the covers, and the stereo. Of course, you got the billet there. That was something you could buy. But literally all tweed. I love it. And then you got the white face gauges there. The cool thing about this was it's just a 2-page feature. That's all you needed. Real clean. Loved how they did the insert shots and laid this out. You got basically 2, 3, 4, 5 photos in this 2-page feature. And also had a very, very nice write-up where he talked about a body drop Mazda Cab Plus he sold and ended up with this one. And it's Ryan Samuels of Visalia, Cali. Of course, got the billet specialties, the 17s, some of the other stuff you see there. So, pretty cool, First mini truck featured in Street Trucks magazine. If you never knew, now you know. And of course, we saw Last Look and Ryan Leonard's Pathfinder, which, again, technically was never finished, but shout out to Ryan Leonard, one of the OGs of Severed. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary this year. Kaufman, love to have him on one day. Mike Kaufman's truck. This truck still exists, although it was in a wreck. It was in an accident. For those that have listened to the podcast, we've talked extensively about this truck. And one of the things I love about it is the Colorado Custom Paradox wheels, but also that windshield banner. Shout out to my homie Josh Ellis. He had those remade through our friends at Graphics Mafia. And I've got one here sitting right over by me that needs to go on something. Stay on the rise, y'all. Appreciate the support. Make sure you check out OLP via your favorite podcast app. We at ya. Peace.